Okay, should you apply for the Rochor BTO in this November's BTO exercise? Welcome to my channel, I'm Maverick, and today we'll be going through the most hyped BTO project of all time. Okay, it's a little bit exaggerated. But yeah, today we'll be going through whether or not you should apply for this Rochor BTO. Before we look at the project itself, we first need to understand what the PLH model is. So the Prime Location Public Housing Model, or the PLH, was first introduced recently in October 2021, and it's targeted at new HDBs that are built in prime or like central locations, such as within a city or along the Greater Southern Waterfront. And this is with HDB hoping that it will allow the HDBs in the prime locations to remain affordable, accessible, and inclusive. So what's the difference between the PLH model and a normal BTO project? The first and biggest difference is the minimum occupation period. So for the PLH model, you have an MOP of 10 years, which means you can only sell your home or purchase a private property after 10 years of staying in the HDB flat. This is a much longer time compared to 5 years in the normal BTO projects. Secondly, even though the prices are subsidized when you buy the flats, you have to pay back a part of the subsidy upon selling the flat, which will affect your profits. Furthermore, there are stricter eligibility of buyers who are able to buy resale PLH flats. So the eligibility of buyers are almost the same as people who are eligible to buy BTO flats in the first place. So there is an income ceiling of $14,000, and this will affect the resale value of your flat, since the highest you can price it is at around $1.1 million for a couple with 14k income to afford the house. But I'm pretty sure the income ceiling will be changed 16 and a half years later when these units are up in the resale market. Furthermore, even after your flat has MOP, you won't be able to rent out the entire flat, and there is a lower allocation of MCPS slots, and singles aren't allowed to purchase a new or resale PLH flat. If you want to read more about PLH, I will link an article below, and that's where you can understand more about the PLH model. Okay, now that we're done with the introduction of how PLH works, let's go through the project itself. Okay, so the project is called River Peaks 1 and 2 because it is built on two sites with Weld Road separating them, and they are both overlooking the Rochor Canal. So if we take a look at Google Earth, this is what the sites look like now. As you can see, there is this land here and this land here. This will be the sites that River Peaks will be built upon. So it is stipulated to be only completed in the second quarter of 2028, which is 6.5 years from now. And that is a very, very long time for a BTO flat. The flats will also stand at 47 stories tall, so it will definitely be one of the tallest HDBs in Singapore, the tallest now being Pinnacle at Duxton, standing at 50 stories tall. There are a total of 1,000 units, 680 being 4-room units, 280 being 3-room, and the last 40 are 2-room rental units. So it is also stated on the HDB website that there are some eco-friendly features and smart solutions for the project itself. Okay, next up, let's talk about the location, since it is the main appeal of this project. It is located along Jalan Besar and flanked by Sungai Road. It is definitely in a super convenient location, with Jalan Besar MRT connected to the project itself. Taking an MRT from Jalan Besar MRT station can bring you to the Northeast Line at Chinatown and Circle Line at MacPherson, so it's really super convenient. So this project is also going to be integrated with social amenities and facilities such as a restaurant, a supermarket, a childcare center, and a network center, which makes it so convenient for the residents living there. I think convenient is the word that sums this project up. It is also a 7-minute walk to Rochor MRT station, which takes you to the other side of the downtown line, which can bring you to Newton, Little India, and Bugis interchange. Furthermore, if you drive, you're only 8 to 10 minutes away from the CBD. However, major expressways like the CTE and KPE are quite a distance away, so it can be a bit of a hassle traveling to other parts of Singapore. And the roads around the area, if you've driven there before, can get very congested at times. So I think it's best to take public transport if you're living in the area. So I think it's really an ideal location if you don't plan to own a car. If you manage to get a flat in this project, you will definitely not go hungry. There is a shit ton of restaurants and eateries along Jalan Besar. Bersih Food Centre is also just a 4 minutes walk away, and it is very near my favorite laksa stall, Sungai Road Laksa. So if you haven't tried it, please go try it. We did a video on Eatbook. I'll link it in the description below. There are also a lot of shopping options nearby. Sim Lim Square is just across the road. So is OG Albert Complex, the two Bugis malls, and also Tekka Center. So if this wasn't like a PLH flat, I could really see the resale prices of this project skyrocketing. I'm talking like when it's up in the resale market, maybe hitting $1.5 to $1.6 million. If you plan to have kids, Farrer Park Primary is just 1 km away. For more tertiary institutions, LaSalle, School of the Arts, Nanyang Academy of Fine Arts, and SMU are just down Bencoolen Street. Now let's talk about the units. As you can see, almost all the blocks in this project are point blocks, meaning that there are only 4 units per floor at each block. This is ideal since every unit is essentially a corner unit, with the exception of Block 36A, which has 5 units in a single floor due to it housing a stack of rental units. All units are facing either direct north or direct south, which is the ideal facing in Singapore, because you won't be getting much afternoon sun into your unit. The car park and facilities will take up the first 5 stories of the project, meaning that you can have easy access to your unit from the car park. Also, like many projects these days, there is a roof garden on top of the car park and also additional sky terraces on the 27th story. So if you manage to get a high floor south facing unit, you can potentially have views of the downtown and marina area, and maybe even a pocket sea view. The north facing units are not too shabby either, with views of the entire Little India Conservation Area and stretching all the way to Seletar and Punggol. So let's see if we can take a peek at how the views are going to look like. So I have Google Earth here. I'm going to tilt the camera slightly and I'm going to zoom out. So if you have a north facing unit, this will essentially be your view. I think it's possible to even see mountains in Malaysia from here. And if you get a south facing unit, you can potentially see the downtown area, Marina Bay, and maybe some sea view if you don't get blocked by the buildings in front of you, because I think these are all relatively high rise buildings in front of you. If you look at the URA master plan, they actually show you the plot ratio for this project, which is 4.9, which is astonishingly high for a HDB project. So if you see southwards, almost all the buildings in front of you have a lower plot ratio, which means that they are potentially going to be shorter than your unit until you reach the Marina Bay area, where there are a lot of white sites with plot ratios that are disgustingly high. These are probably going to be like at least 50-60 stories tall. Once these buildings are built, it's probably going to block your sea view. But it doesn't really matter because you really have a very good view of the downtown core and Marina Bay. Okay, looking at the layout of the 3-room flat, you can see that it is like your typical BTO layout with the size of 66 square meters, which is around 710 square feet. Note that this 66 square meters is inclusive of the aircon ledge here, so essentially you're getting a bit less space than that. And it is on the smaller side of 3-room flats, because I think the 3-room flats in the new BTO launches are around 70 square meters or around 760 square feet. Okay, looking at the 4-room layouts, so you can see that this is kind of a typical BTO layout, but with the exception of the kitchen. So you can see the house shelter is actually in between the main door and the kitchen and yard area. So usually the kitchen layout is more of a horizontal layout, but for this unit it is a vertical layout, so that is quite interesting. You can see that there are very little structural walls within the unit itself, so all the structural walls are outside the unit. What this means is that you can potentially hack down all the walls to reconfigure to a layout that suits your needs. So there is another layout for the 4-room flats. This is more interesting, I would say. A bit different from your typical BTO layout. The main door is behind your home shelter and your kitchen area. So when you go in, it's the living room, and then you have to walk backwards towards your kitchen. I think this is something very unique. Definitely not for everyone, but I think this saves a bit more space actually, because your bedroom corridor isn't that long. So the sizes of the 4 units are 88 square meters or 947 square feet, inclusive of the aircon ledge area, which means that your internal area is less than that. It is smaller than the new BTOs. The new BTOs are around 968 to 1000 square feet, so this is indeed a bit smaller. So as you can see from the site map, stacks 118, 120, 112, 110, 102, 100, 117, 119, 109, 111, 103 and 101 are the units with the more unique layout, and the rest of the 4 units are of the normal BTO layout. Okay, so now let's take a look at the price of the flats, whether they are justifiable or not. So the 3-room flats range from 409,000 to 474,000, and the 4-room flats range from 582,000 to 688,000. In my opinion, these prices are really reasonable if you take into account how prime the location is and how convenient it is, having integrated facilities and shops at the ground level. So if you are interested in buying a flat here, this is how much you need to pay. So we'll be taking the lowest price and the highest price as examples. For a $409,000 3-room flat, you'll be paying your first down payment of $20,450 plus around $7,000 of stamp duties plus $258 of conveyancing fees, which brings your first payment to $27,578. So this can be paid using the enhanced housing grant if you qualify for it. And subsequent down payment when collecting your keys are $20,450. So taking a 25-year HDB loan for the remaining $368,100, and considering that the current interest rate of 2.6% stays, you need to pay a monthly mortgage of $1,752. So using the mortgage servicing ratio, this means that your total combined income has to be at least $5,840 a month. So take note that this will be 6.5 years later when they assess your income again. Now if you want to purchase the most expensive unit, so a 4-room unit at the 47th floor, at $688,000, your first payment will include the first down payment of $34,400 plus $15,240 of stamp duties and $425 of conveyancing fees, which brings your first payment to $50,065. Your subsequent down payment will be $34,400 upon key collection, and taking a HDB loan of 25 years for the remaining $619,200, you will need to pay a monthly mortgage of $2,810, meaning you need to have a monthly income of at least $9,400 to service your loan. If you think you are able to earn $9,400 of combined income by the time the flat is completed, you are good to go. Taking a look at the resale prices, the 3-room flats in the area are going for $380,000 to $500,000 with a balanced lease of 60 years, while the 4-room flats are going for about $650,000 to $720,000 with a balanced lease of about 60 years also. There's a lot more to talk about if you are considering whether to get a resale flat in the area or the new BTO, so I think we'll skip that discussion for now. Overall, I think River Peaks has a great location and is priced very well. On top of that, it comes integrated with a bunch of shops and facilities on the first 5 floors. If you are someone who enjoys living within close proximity to the city and doesn't plan to use real estate as a form of asset progression, I think this might be the project for you, if you can wait 6.5 years for it to be ready. However, for those who view real estate as a potential investment opportunity, I think it's better to look elsewhere. There are pretty decent choices in this BTO and SBF exercise. Here are a few projects that I have taken note of. So there's the Kent Heights BTO, which is relatively near Farrer Park MRT if you're looking for something close to the city but not as prime as River Peaks. And for SBF projects, there is Sky Oasis at Dawson, Compass Residences, Towner Crest, Kallang Breeze, and Clementi Peaks in the west. If you ask me personally, I'd skip the Rochor BTO and consider one of the SBF projects instead. Hope you guys found this video useful. If you liked the video, please subscribe and share this video with the people who are looking to get a BTO in this November exercise. Bye!